What's up everybody, AnimeX here, and in this video I'll be adding a part 2 to the What If Naruto the 10 Tail series. Since you guys decided to demolish the last like goal, I'll raise it to, let's say, 2.5k likes for part 3. Anyways, like usual, I'll be recapping the last part then jumping into the new material. So, without further ado, let's get started. Now, in the last part of this What If, we talked about and dove deep into the complexities of Naruto's childhood and the struggle that Naruto had been going through as a young child and just basically throughout his life. If you didn't see that part, I recommend watching it because I do give some insight on some of the things that Naruto will be dealing with, and I'll leave a link to that part in the description below. After that, we saw Naruto get assigned to Team 7 just like the usual, and they performed the bell test which Naruto actually completed with flying colors. And through some specific shenanigans that I don't really want to dive deep into, Naruto was able to get the Hokage, Lord Hiruzen, or Lord Hiruzen, Saratobi, whatever you know him as, to come out to test Naruto, and that's where we'll hop into the story. Now, like I said, Naruto and Hiruzen are about to square off for the bells, and when the fight starts, Naruto decides to slowly ease into the fighting, because if Naruto tries to go all out from the start, he'll get excited, and the Jubi's overwhelming strength and power will take over his mind. So Naruto needs to ease into it, and that's how he has to take most fights. Hiruzen has no such qualms, and starts off with a swift kick to the chin, sending Naruto flying into the air. Naruto then charges a fireball jutsu, ready for Naruto when he falls, but to his surprise, Naruto is flying and staying suspended in the air. Naruto just inflates his chest with air and shoots a massive fireball jutsu down at Hiruzen, which gets countered by a water style jutsu that Hiruzen has to release very quickly. Naruto then flies right through the smoke and grabs for Hiruzen, although Hiruzen is able to dodge, and slams Naruto into the ground using a nice swift kick. Hiruzen after this decides to summon his adamantine staff, and Naruto gets up and then decides that he can crank up his chakra levels a little bit, amping his speed and strength even further into newer heights. Naruto pushes himself further slightly, inch by inch, increasing his stats until he finally does it. He matches Hiruzen in terms of speed, and then after that, he even outspeeds Hiruzen. He disappears from Old Man Hiruzen's vision and appears behind him, ready to attack and go for the bells. When he reaches for them, he is smacked across the face with Hiruzen's adamantine staff, which sends Naruto flying through a couple of trees. When this happens, Naruto's psyche starts breaking off a bit. Keep it together, keep it together, keep it together. Naruto's body and Jubi are struggling for control now, and Naruto's trying with all his might to keep himself under control. And due to Naruto being engaged in combat and basically being in a more agitated state, the Jubi is clearly winning the battle for Naruto's mind, and Naruto rages. Not really angry at anything, but he's just excited and he's not able to control himself in a calm mind state. Losing himself to the Jubi, and with a gut-wrenching scream, Naruto charges up his chakra to the utmost extremes and charges at Hiruzen. And due to him not being restraining himself, he clearly outspeeds Hiruzen and appears behind him, kicking him in the back, sending Hiruzen flying. And this sends a shock through Hiruzen and startlingly crack throughout his entire body. Shimata. If only I was just a few years younger, I'd be able to... And as this thought is cut off when Naruto disappears yet again and kicks Hiruzen into the air. And while he's in the air and in this fit of rage, Naruto is about to launch a fireball jutsu that would scale, on a scale that would put Hiruzen to shame. And just when he's about to do so, he is kicked in the side by some ninja that has a mask over his face. And when the Jubi Naruto looks around, he slowly realizes in his fit of rage that he is surrounded by Anbu Black Ops members. And just when he's about to continue rampaging, he looks up just in time to be smacked in the face yet again by Hiruzen, and this successfully stuns Naruto. When Naruto gains his bearings again, he is shot for some reason in something that seems very similar to a tree, although it's much thicker and much stronger. And although the branches look rather frail and brittle compared to Naruto and his seemingly endless power, Naruto cannot seem to break out with pure strength alone, and the fact with each second, his strength seems to be leaving into those branches for some reason. This is all true until Danzo walks into the clearing. And pushing his luck, Danzo walks up to Naruto, and Yamato, knowing that Naruto will be able to break out soon if he's agitated even more, takes off his mask and tells him that he needs to back up. But Danzo disregards this as he's hoping to retrieve the infamous Rinnegan within Naruto for himself. And when he gets close and puts his hands near Naruto's face, Naruto and the Jubi chakra both erupt at once, sending Danzo flying, along with disintegrating the branches that were attempting to hold him in place. After this, Naruto looks around wildly, and as he does, the rage and the struggle for his body sways to Naruto's side, and Naruto's arms just drop to his side as he feels like he's been defeated once again. Not because he might have actually won or lost the fight from the outside, but once again, he gave it to the Jubi's chaotic nature, and once again lost himself within it. Naruto hangs his head in shame as tears stream down Naruto's face, and Naruto runs out of there embarrassed at his own weakness and hoping to go isolate himself for a while. Until Naruto walks back into the village and he passes by Ichiraku's ramen shop. And when Naruto decides to stop by, "Aw, hey Naruto, long day?" Ichiraku Ramen just asks this question as Naruto just nods and sits in the booth. Naruto senses one of his teammates passing by, and hoping for some companionship, he calls out, "Hey Sakura-chan, do you want to get some ramen with me?" Sakura politely declines as she passes and says under her breath, "As if I'd eat something with a monster like you." Naruto hears this comment, and as a result, tears start building up in his eyes, yet again, and Naruto just hears these words ring in his ears. Monster, devil, mistake, problem, disgusting. These are all words that he's heard before. Well, coming from Sakura, who he saw as a companion and a comrade, this hurts for some reason. It hurts a lot more than most people's words would. Naruto's ears then perk up as he senses someone behind him, watching him, and realizes that Hinata is staring at him. Naruto wipes the tears from his face and clears his throat, shakily saying, "I know you were there, Hinata. Are you scared of me too? Do you think I'm a monster too?" Hinata doesn't say anything, and Naruto just looks down at his stark white hands, cursing himself for being different. Of course you do. I would too if I were in your position. Maybe I shouldn't even be alive. I seem to be of trouble for anyone near. And Hinata then walks up to Naruto after hearing him say this, and for the first time in her life, Hinata is deciding to take charge and be aggressive to an extent. And she starts telling him off that if other people don't like him, it's fine, and then she slaps him. But if other people think he's a monster, that's okay. If other people don't like him, that's fine. But what she won't allow is Naruto to get down on himself and disrespect the person she admires so much. Naruto looks at Hinata and just stares at her in awe. Naruto feels love for some reason. He understands what love feels like now. He understands what it feels like and a feeling that he never wants to let go of. It's something that he's finally willing to fight for. He finally understands what this is. Okay, fine. I won't ever doubt myself again. I'll become a person who you can respect and love, Hinata. I promise. Naruto then kisses Hinata on the forehead and runs out of the shop as fast as he can, possibly hoping to get some training in while he still can. Oh, Naruto, you already are that person. Hinata then blushes, realizing that Naruto kissed her on the forehead and passes out right on the spot. Now, after the ramen shop encounter, we shift over to Naruto with the rest of his team, heading to the Hokage's office so they can request a higher rank mission and turn in the mission that they've already completed. Just like in the original, they are given the mission to protect and escort Tazuna, but unlike in the original, Tazuna actually resists the idea of being escorted by the team a lot more than he would have usually, especially since Naruto looks so odd and gives off this weird aura and vibe. Naruto just grits his teeth as he's used to being berated like this on the daily, but he doesn't want this to leak into his ninja life, and he's hoping to basically keep it professional. Naruto then walks over to Tazuna and whispers in his ear, "Hey, I may look funny to you, I may look disgusting to you, you may think I'm a monster, but I'm the strongest one in this room right now. So if you want to get home without being attacked or harmed, I'm your best bet. Oh, and P.S., I can sense that you're lying about the nature of your mission. Your emotions say it all." After Naruto does this and talks about Tazuna lying about the mission, because he's able to figure this out due to part of the Jubi being Kurama, and Naruto was able to sense emotions to an even greater degree than Kurama averagely could. Tazuna, after hearing this, turns pale and accepts the mission to keep his squad safe, since Naruto seemed to give off an aura that just basically resonated with pure and utter destruction and chaos, but it also seems to have this great, seemingly endless power to it, so Tazuna decides to trust this and continue on. So on they go into their journey, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi taking point, being in the front, and Naruto bringing up the rear for quote-unquote strategic reasons, although Naruto knows it's just a ploy because they're all nervous and unnerved around him at all times. This is when the Demon Brothers show up, and before they can even pretend to kill Kakashi, Naruto instantly appears in front of them, and using the ability that he learned recently and started practicing more, Naruto uses Bansho Tenin once again and pulls them directly towards him, and he grabs them by the throat, saying that they have 5 seconds to spill their reasoning for attacking Tazuna or he'll kill them right on the spot. Naruto then throws them into a tree and stares into their eyes as he tries to detect if they're lying when they don't say anything, and doesn't find anything that they said untrue. So they decide that they are just going to continue on into their journey until some mist rolls in and Zabuza appears with it. Naruto closes his eyes and he starts extending his senses outwards, and just when he's about to attack Zabuza, who he finally finds, Kakashi scraps with him and gets put in a water prison jutsu. Instead of formulating a plan with Sasuke though, Naruto decides to use his true singing orbs and send them all flying at Zabuza, hoping to scare him off. And since Naruto has complete control over these true singing orbs, it's quite easy to force Zabuza to release the jutsu, and Zabuza launches himself in the air, trying to instantly gain some basically distance between them. And as a result, Naruto is behind him, having baited him, appears there as well. And all Zabuza is able to think is, he's fast, and that's all that goes through Zabuza's mind as Naruto spins and kicks Zabuza into the water, with a huge wave that results from the splash. Naruto then starts levitating and weaving hand seals, fire style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu. And with that, Jutsu Fire rains from above, and Zabuza has to dive down into the water using a water dragon to counter it somewhat. Kakashi enters the fight, and from there does his thing, completely humiliating and bodying Zabuza, which leaves Haku to come in and save him. Afterwards, Kakashi passes out, and Naruto grabs that and crushes Kakashi and takes him to Tazuna, who's willing to take them all in for a bit. While they are there, they attempt to learn chakra control to walk on a tree, and this simple task proves to almost be impossible for someone like Naruto to do so, due to the Jubi not allowing him to manipulate his own chakra completely and freely, and most of his chakra being directed toward actually holding the Jubi back and keeping him in place. This means that although Sakura and Sasuke are able to learn it within a few days, Naruto has to meditate and practice at almost non-stop and train in order to get this down completely, taking him a full week. When resting, after accomplishing his tree training for that day, Naruto comes down and just resting, and Naruto encounters Haku and engages in something similar to how they do with the original, just talking and kind of, talking and mingling how they did regularly. Naruto, when hearing Haku, realizes that if he has something or someone he fights for, then he should automatically be stronger or be able to draw in more strength from him. Meaning that if he fights for Hinata, if he fights for someone that he cares about, that seemingly loves him, he should be able to muster the strength to eventually fight the Jubi. Regardless of that though, Naruto and the rest of Team 7 do end up facing Haku and Zabuza later on, just like they do in the original. And similar to the original, Kakashi squares off with Zabuza, Sasuke with Haku, and Sakura stands next to Tazuna completely and utterly useless. Naruto decides to help Sasuke take on Haku as he sees that he can probably take on that fighter. And when Haku tries to blitz Naruto after Naruto comes within the mirrors, Naruto does not only recognize this, but he reacts and counters Haku with a kunai, deflecting the trajectory of his attack. This continues to happen between Naruto and Haku, with each of them completely matching each other in terms of speed and strength, both exchanging blows rather easily. Until Naruto's focus clouds. This always happens when Naruto gets in the heat of an intense battle. If he isn't careful, if he isn't worried about keeping the Jubi in place, it will interfere and cloud his thoughts and logic, disabling him from moving until he can refocus. Sasuke realizes that Naruto is vulnerable and he's basically open to an attack, and on pure instincts and reaction alone, Sasuke jumps in the way of the attack and takes the brunt of it for Naruto and then collapses. Naruto, refocusing right before this happened, sees this, and the first thing he sees is Sasuke bleeding out on the ground. Naruto puts two and two together. Sasuke sacrificed himself while Naruto was vulnerable, and Naruto just asks why. Sasuke says, my body just seemed to move on its own. Pretty dumb, huh? Naruto, I might not think that you are the best person. I might not think that you are as good as me, or smart as me, as great as a ninja as me, but you're not a monster. Remember that. Sasuke's head then tilts as he stops talking and seemingly dies. Naruto lets out a scream of pure agony and pain. Why? Why did one of the only people that didn't hate him, one of the people that may not have liked him, but just didn't have hatred towards him or bigotry towards him, why did he have to die in order to save him? Why is his life such a tragedy? Why is Sasuke lying in his arms dead? Then Naruto looks ahead and sees Haku within the mirrors and just thinks, you took him from me. Now I'll kill you. Naruto just starts growling and his chakra explodes violently. So violently, in fact, that the sheer chakra itself shattered the ice crystal mirrors and is now affecting Kakashi and Zabuza's fight. Is this the strength of the Ten Tails? Kakashi and Zabuza both remark as they are fighting. Naruto just stops being Naruto. He's now a vessel of chaos and destruction, and he starts with Haku. He charges at Haku, balling up his fist, ready to kill Haku within that fight, right there, and then he almost does, hitting Haku directly in the stomach, caving in his chest, already meaning that even if Haku did get immediate help, he'd most likely die. Naruto then kicks Haku down to the ground and starts pummeling Haku's body over and over, releasing his anger into him, killing Haku in the process. Naruto then looks at his hand to see his stand stained with blood, and he starts crying, and Naruto falls over, seeing his master also getting his hand stained with blood as he stabs Zabuza in the chest. Naruto passes out, not even being able to comprehend the pure rage and anger that he has in his heart. And that, everybody, is where I'm going to end part 2 to the What If Naruto Had the Ten Tails series. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, comment, and if you are new to the channel and haven't already done so, consider subscribing and hitting the bell so you don't miss out on more Ten Tails Naruto content. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is actually, I'm really getting invested in writing this series, just because I feel like there's a lot of ways I can go with this. But anyways, like I said, if you guys liked the video, make sure to hit the like goal of 2.5k likes, so just so you know, I will not be putting out another video until you guys hit that. No doubt you guys will probably hit that within like 3 hours of this coming out, so it's whatever. Anyway, I'll just get to work on part 3. You guys, everyone knows that I'm gonna have to do it anyway. Anyways though, hope you enjoyed the video, and as always guys, this is Enemy X signing off.